Hello everyone, I'm Ken Carlo Razaga, and today we are going to learn about the major scale. So, the major scale. What is the major scale? The major scale is one of the most commonly used scale. It is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. And it's one of the most used scale. Yeah, I said it already. It is one of the diatonic scales. It is made up of 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th one is the same with the first one. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with those 7 notes consist of 7 modes. So the major scale, it has intervals, which are the spaces in between. This is a half step, this is a whole step. So that is an interval. That is an example. Like the distance between one note from the other. So the intervals for the major scale, if you're gonna use it in your guitar, whole, half, whole, half. See, like this one. This is a whole step. One whole, half, whole, half. So those are the intervals. And of that 7 notes, there are 7 names. You have to label them. The 7 names of those 7 notes are the root, which is the first note, the second, the major third, the perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, the sixth, major 7, and then the octave, because it is 8 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why it's called the octave. I mean, oct, from the word oct. And the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So those are the names of the notes of your major scale. Remember that. So if you know what a scale is, then you know that it has chords in it. For example, in songs, you use chords. So there are chords in the major scale. So what are those? So the first one would be a major. The root would be a major. The second one would be a minor. The third one would be also a minor. The fourth, major. The fifth, major. The sixth, minor. The seventh, diminished. And back to the first, which is major. It is very useful when you are communicating about music, because when somebody says, I will give you a 2-5-1 chord progression, so you must know that 2 is minor, the 5 is the major, and 1 is also a major. So it will sound like this. And then if somebody says, give me a 5-4-1, 5-4-1 would look like this, would sound like this. In this video, I'm sorry I said this too late, we're going to use the C C major scale. If we are gonna use C major as an example for the major scale, we would have C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. Those would be the chords, right? There are no flats or sharps in the major scale, so it is quite easy to remember. If you have been following the examples, I have said that 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, and then 7 would be diminished, and then 1 would be back to major, back to the 1 octave, yeah, which is the A, yeah. So, just like what I've said, if I use C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, it would be C, C Ionian. The notes, which I said which are major or minor, corresponds to a mode, right? So if we are talking about C, C Ionian, which is, what did I said last time? Sounds happy. Right? C major, C Ionian, sounds happy. We go to the second chord, D minor. Sounds mellow. What did I say about mellow? It's the Dorian scale, so it will be called D Dorian. But remember, all of these modes have the same notes, but they have just different names because it is now a different home base. So like when we say D Dorian, D is now the first chord. You will understand that later. So what did I say? It sounds mellow. And the next would be the Phrygian, which I said would be minor. The third chord of the major C major scale, it would sound dark, sounds exotic, sounds new. Yeah, so the next would be Lydian, F Lydian, which I said last time would sound like you're in space. And the next would be G, the fifth note, which would sound major, which would sound like you're in a band in Scotland. And the next would be Alien, which is minor, the sixth note of the C major scale, with your typical minor stuff. And yeah, there's many kinds of minor. That would be harmonic minor, and that would be melodic minor. So you will not learn that later. So I'm just trying to let you know what stuff you can learn for later. But let's now focus about major scale first. So what did I say? Aeolian, which is minor, and the next would be, you must guess it. It's B. The next note is B because like A, F, G, A, B. B would be diminished. You are correct. And it's what's called? What is the mode called? It's Locrian, which I said is the most unstable mode, the darkest mode. Oh. I'm not very good at. I'm not very good at using Locrian. It's very dark. adds tension to the chords. So now you have learned about the major scale. So let's review. It is the most common scale used. It consists of 7 notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those 7 notes corresponds to modes. 7 modes, which has labels, or we can call them major or minor, which has very distinct sounds, very different kind of sounds you can produce. So now that you have learned a little about the major scale, because I am not very good at teaching, you can apply it to your guitar playing to add more flavor when doing stuff. So that's the end of the video. Goodbye. Yeah, I suck at giving ending. Bye bye.